Enrollment is down 5.2% for the 2022-2023 school year. And as you know, kindergarten is an important time to get your child start developing.
That's right. And joining us now to discuss as Defense of Freedom Institute spokesperson and former press secretary at the U.S. Department for Education under Secretary Betsy DeVos, Angela Morabito, director for the American Center for Education and Knowledge, Jay Shepard, and Doug Collins and Ben Weingarten join us back here. Angela, I want to start with you here. I know that I'm wondering if a lot of those numbers have to do with parents who are choosing to homeschool their kids instead, which a lot of parents are deciding to do because of the woke agenda that we're seeing in schools. Your thoughts?
Homeschooling is absolutely on the rise. Parents are realizing that their government-assigned public school may not always be the best option for their family and really for their child. When you see numbers like this of people leaving or choosing not to enroll their child in a public school for kindergarten, that's not something that's wrong with the parents. Every parent wants what's best for their child. That's something that's wrong for the school, and the school should be listening to those alarm bells that are saying what we're offering is not the best option for the families we're supposed to serve.
Jay, are we talking about kids not learning or just going to homeschool? Get some clarity on this, because when you hear kids aren't going to kindergarten, you're thinking, wow, this is getting bad here in the United States here. So clarify that for us.
Well, I think it's actually getting good. I think what it means is that parents are becoming more and more involved in their children's education. That means homeschooling. That means childcare centers where they've been for the last 3 or 4 years, where they're getting the socialization that they need. The challenge is now when you have public school education and government-run schools in particular, you're looking at children who may not even know what their pronouns are by the time they reach age 5. So they have all kinds of new challenges that are going on in the schools. Homeschooling, child care centers are really providing the individual care and education that our kids are getting now, and that's deviating from the traditional thoughts that we drop our kids off at the traditional government-run schools and they're going to have the best education and be prepared to go on to first grade.
That's a great point. Doug, it's interesting because a lot of people are saying, okay, this is terrible. Kids aren't going to kindergarten. But it will be interesting to both Angela and Jay's points here with parents taking a more active role potentially in their kids' development. I wonder how test scores will change after we see how these kids who are not in kindergarten continue to develop.
Well, I think the very first thing that you got to look at here is not just in the issue of kindergarten. Are they teaching? Are they actually being involved at home? Are they actually teaching them reading, writing, the things that they need to do? And if it's just doing it because they're just doing something else with them, that's not good. But then test scores also. Here's what we saw in Georgia, because we have a preschool program that's funded by the lottery. What we saw was very good progress in our pre-K and other programs, but what we saw was a drop-off by 3rd and 4th grade. What was happening is all the money funneled up front was not getting into the more later years of 3, 4, and 5, and also parents were pulling back more at age 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. We've got to have that involvement all the way through if we're going to see this actually happen. The other thing is we need universal school choice. State of Oklahoma just opened up school choice. Over 30,000 students first week. I think it was first few days actually applied.
Wow. Ben, your thoughts?
Yeah, competition breeds a better service ultimately for parents and for our kids. To the extent people are taking their kids out of school and homeschooling, I think it's going to lead to a superior education. It's also going to put competitive pressure on the public schools to up their game. And if there is one silver lining from locking kids out during COVID, which was disastrous on every single level, and we're not going to be able to make up the lost years of socialization and education, is that parents saw the schools for what they are, and we've seen how radical the teachers' unions are and that they do not put students first. So parents need to get in the game.
I think that's a really good point. I had some good friends who during COVID, of course, their kids weren't in school, and they decided not to send them back into homeschool after that, Ben, for exactly the reason you said, because they saw the woke agenda that had been building in their schools, and they said, nope, not for us. So very great points. Angela Morabito, Jay Shepard, thanks so much for joining us.